happy December. It's December 1st right now when I'm filming this. I don't know if I'll actually get this video up today, but in celebration of December, I decided to wear my Christmas pajamas. They are so soft that after I got out of the shower this morning, I had to put them right back on. So don't judge me for wearing dirty laundry, but they're the best. Thank you to anybody who's a returning viewer. I was honestly astonished that as many people watched my first video as they did. I really didn't expect, I don't think I had any expectations at all, honestly, for how that first video was gonna go, but and honestly, after I posted it, the first couple of people to watch it were actually like my family members, and the first couple of comments from my parents, which I got a laugh out of because my dad pretended like he didn't know me and he left a comment saying that he was gonna cast on some socks, which I thought was hilarious because he doesn't even knit. But after that, like, I don't know, I was just really surprised that it had as many people view it as it did. And I just want to say thank you for anybody who did watch it. Thank you to anybody who subscribed. I really appreciated it, and so that's why I'm back. I figured I should probably post another video just to kind of give an update on what I'm working on, and yeah, we'll go from there. I also really want to say that after watching myself back while I was editing that first video, I have realized that I make a lot of faces which is in a lot of weird noises, so sorry about that, I guess, but that's just who I am. Either you're here for it or you're not, I guess. I don't know. I'm so new to this and I'm having a lot of fun exploring the aspects and the creativity with the editing. It definitely is gonna take some time to learn how to figure out my style, or whatever you want to say. But yeah, if there's anything I can do to enhance the quality of this for you, the audience, then I would appreciate a comment about it. I'm not found all that. All right, so my first finished object is my sweater number 9 by My Favorite Things Knitwear, and I am so happy with it, honestly. I knitted up in Knitting for Olive's Heavy Merino and their soft silk mohair, both in the color Dusty Petroleum. The fabric is, plush is not quite the right word. It's like a little dense, but I don't know. It's nice, whatever it is. It's not itchy at all, super soft, and I really love the color. I was a little concerned after I ordered it. I mean, this was like a year ago. It took me forever to get to this project, but after I ordered it and it came, I felt like the color wasn't what I thought it was gonna be, which happens pretty much every time that I order yarn online, which is not, it's really nobody's fault. I think it's partially me too. Like, I choose colors that I probably shouldn't. Yeah, no, it happens a lot. I'm really indecisive about colors to begin with. Some of my very favorite like Instagram accounts to follow and stuff are accounts that are like all neutrals. love them. I admire it so much, and I always tell myself, oh my gosh, like my next sweater or my next project or whatever, I'm gonna make it in that neutral color, that beige or that gray or that brown or white or whatever. And then I don't. Then I pick colors that are not even close to neutral. I mean, I guess this could almost be considered neutral. It almost leans gray. It's not, it's blue, for sure it's blue. But originally when I bought the pattern, I was just gonna make it in the cream color, the sample that My Favorite Things Knitwear has pictured in the pattern. It's like a basic, it's like this color right here. And that's actually another problem I have, is that I really fall in love with the samples, like the colors and stuff. And then when I actually purchase a pattern and I'm getting ready to buy the yarn, I'm like, no, I can't make it in the color that the sample's made in. That's not original. Who cares? I mean, I like the colors, so why wouldn't I just choose it? It's like this crazy game that I go through every time that I buy yarn. I don't know why. But anyways, so I was definitely concerned when I got the yarn that I wasn't actually gonna like it knit up, but now that it's knit up and I've worn it, I love it. I think the color really complements like my characteristics, like the darkness of my hair. Yeah, I'm really happy with it. It's super versatile. I did do the cropped version. That's not true. I didn't do the cropped version. I did somewhere in between the cropped version and the full length version. I don't remember what the measurements are for that, and quite honestly, I don't think I can say them anyways because it is a paid for pattern. But it is, even though I knit further than what the cropped version said, it is still a cropped sweater on me. I don't really know if I have a long torso. I never really thought I did, and I don't think I do. I think I have an average length torso, but this definitely, I mean, it falls right below my waistline, maybe even on my waistline. So definitely cropped. I would maybe make it again, maybe. Not anytime soon, but it was a fun knit. It was nice and peaceful. And I think that's enough on that. What has been taking up the majority of my knitting time and energy is a test knit that I am in for the lovely Johanna from Kolibri. Or is it Kolibri by Johanna? I think that's what it is. But anyways, it's for her her sweater that is going to be coming out December 7th. It is the George's sweater. And I love this sweater. I'm not done with it. I'm still in the process of knitting it. But it has been so nice to knit. The whole process has just been enjoyable, and that is even considering that I messed up the instructions for the yoke. The yoke increases, and I had to rip it back, which really sucked because this sweater, I'm knitting this sweater in 2 strands of drops. Hold on. I should know this. Oh, I do know this. In drops alpaca silk. This is the first time I've used this yarn, and I am honestly impressed, dare I say, with it. And so this is another case of I ordered yarn online and hemmed and hawed over the color, loved the color that the sample was in because it was just off-white, and I was gonna do that, and then when I went to go actually pick out the yarn and order it, I was like, no, I can't, she used that. I don't know. So then I was like, well, it's this beautiful sweater. It's like an open back sweater with a bow at the bottom. And I figured that I wanted it to be like my holiday sweater. So I figured I'll make it in red. And when I was picturing red, I was picturing like this red, like red. And I always order my drops yarn via Wool Warehouse. And they were out of stock of like the red color of this yarn. But they had this color, Bordeaux, and it was between this, a green, which it was an emerald green, but I was nervous to buy that online because I was afraid that if I bought it and it got here, it might have been too like Jolly Rancher green rather than a dark emerald green that I would have wanted. I wasn't willing to take the risk on that because I knew I wasn't gonna walk around in a sweater that was like some bright green, you know? So it was between this Bordeaux, the original off-white, or really, I think that was it at the time. And I went back and forth about this because the picture on the website, which is not the fault of Wool Warehouse, it's just the way that it goes when you buy yarn online. The picture looked like dark red, like very dark velvety red. And I was like, oh my God, that color would be beautiful if it actually turns out to be that color. But my knowledge of what the color Bordeaux typically looks like, I knew I was taking a gamble that it was gonna turn out more purple, which in the end I decided was fine because I typically like the color maroon on myself, or like burgundies. So I figured if it wasn't the red that it showed online, it wouldn't be a big deal. So the yarn got here, and I definitely wouldn't say that this is the red that I saw online. Again, not Wool Warehouse's fault at all. I knew buying this what I was going into, and I took the gamble. And I think it is red with purple. That is definitely more of a burgundy. That's Bordeaux. I mean, there's no way to say it other than that is red with purple in it. It is Bordeaux. It is not a cherry red, Christmassy, velvety red that I was looking for, and that's okay. I still love it. Now that I have, every time actually that I have picked this sweater up, I have felt differently about it. Sometimes I'm like, wow, I actually really love this color. And then sometimes I'm like, oh my, what the heck? This is not what I wanted. And now that I've gotten to a point where I can actually try the sweater on and see it on myself, I am very content and happy with the color. I think it complements my hair, my skin tone very well. And I think it's gonna be, I think that it suits the pattern well as well. So, and it looks a mess right now because I've got ends all over the place that need to be weaved in, and I'm obviously not done, but here is the beginning. I never know how to do this well, but it's a nice cropped sweater. This hits at my waist as well. I think one of the nicest things about it is the eye cords that detail everything. The sleeves are nice and voluminous. They're not like huge, they're not like bell sleeves, but they do decrease very rapidly at the end, and then it's finished with an I-cord, which I really like. Has a nice feminineness about it. I'm about that far on the second sleeve, and this is all the yarn I have left. So I did just order 2 more, and I'm afraid that that also might not be enough, but that was all they had left on their website. So I'm doing my best. I am so excited to wear this. I don't think I can do it justice, but the fabric has such a squish factor about it, and I love that because I don't own anything like that right now. Yeah, I think that that is gonna look really nice. It's not red. I mean, that's just not. It looks like a muted burgundy to me. But it also, to me, looks like the color of like when you make blueberry pie and the juices come out. It looks like that color to me. But yeah, I really enjoyed working on this pattern. Johanna was great. She was so friendly during the test knit. She took a lot of feedback. I actually was just telling my husband last night that I would make this pattern again. That's how much I enjoyed it, and that's how much I'm looking forward to the finished object. I would make it again. And I'd probably make it in the original white color that she has in the sample. I think that that is just a really nice look. Moving on to my next work in progress that I've actually been working on. I do have other works in progress, other works in progress that I'm working on. No, that's not true. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. I do have other works in progress that I'm really not putting any work towards right now, so I'm not gonna show them. I don't want this video to be a billion hours long. So yeah, so this is the other work in progress that I'm actively working on right now. And if you watched my last video, I talked about an Oslo hat that I made for my brother that I gave to him when he came to visit from Japan. And I made it in Cascade Heritage Silk, and I made it in this color, held double. I was not on gauge. It worked out fine. I blocked the hat, it fit him, he loves it, he wears it all the time. But I had plenty of this yarn left over. I did weigh it. I don't remember how much it weighed out at. And then I also had mohair left over from my sweater number 9. And when I realized I had a bunch of this, I had 2 half balls of this mohair left. And I figured, I know they're not like the same, not even close, but I made like a little swatch to see if they were gonna marl too much. Like, I just wanted to know how I felt like about the color. I was hoping that the color of the mohair from this was gonna make this look like it was kind of glowing. And I honestly feel like it did exactly that. What is it called? The inner thread of this mohair is definitely shiny and like closer to like a bright grayish white. So it does marl a little bit with this, but not too bad to where I wasn't willing to work with it. And the reason I was concerned about the marling is because the project that I had in mind has cables in it, and I just didn't want it to distract from the cables. I just wanted those to really shine, and I felt like if the yarn I was using was marling, it was gonna be a deterrent. But anyways, so I decided, and forgive me if I pronounce it wrong, I shouldn't pronounce it wrong since it was such a popular pattern earlier this year, I think, or last year. But I decided to make the Leolu shawl by Sari Nordlund. Here it is. I haven't worked on it a lot this week because I've been pretty busy with school, but I did work on it when I was up at my parents'. I just love it. I think it's so pretty. I think the color is so pretty. It just, to me, it looks like ice, or like a snowy, icy day. I don't know. It reminds me of like Elsa or something somehow. I think the color is gonna look really nice again. That's how she wears it in one of the pictures, and I like it. I don't know, I love it. I think that the cable pattern is so enjoyable to knit. It is meditative in a way. It's not too difficult. It's just enough to feel like you're doing something intricate. These two yarns together, oh, so soft too, because this is it. I'm pretty sure it's superwash wool. I think it's 80% superwash wool and 20% silk. So this is already really soft on its own. And then this is, I mean, anybody who's worked with knitting for olive soft silk mohair knows that it's really quite soft. So together, it's like air. It's so nice. So yeah, and the color, so happy with the color, honestly. And once it blocks out too, I think it'll be really nice. So those are my two big works in progress. And to be honest, I really haven't been working on anything else because I haven't had the time, and because I'm on a deadline for this test knit, so it's super important that I get it done on time because I don't like not being on time. But another thing that I did talk about in my last video that I wanted to be a work in progress, and it almost was, it kind of is, were the house socks that I wanted to make for my husband out of this green yarn, which is so soft also. I ordered a skein of silk mohair from Drops to go with it, and the idea is that I'm going to make a pair of like DK socks for him to wear around the house as slippers, because the content of this particular yarn is really, it's soft. There's cashmere in here, silk, wool. If he wears these as regular socks, there's no nylon in it. He is going to shred them to pieces. So but he wanted socks. I told him I bought this yarn for him and I'd make him what he wanted, and he said he wanted socks. I told him I was not willing to make him regular socks, but I would make him like fluffy, slippery socks, like slippers. So my thought process was, okay, I'll pair these to meet a bigger gauge, plus this will help hold this together, you know, keep it intact, and we'll see how that goes. So the pattern, I had a bunch of patterns, sock patterns picked out for him to look at, because I wanted him to choose which socks he wanted, because I feel like a lot of socks are too frilly for him. That's just the way I'm gonna say it. And he ended up choosing the Taival socks by Sari Nordlund. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. And they're just like a lightly cabled sock at a DK, I'm pretty sure it's a DK. Yeah, DK weight. She uses a DK weight sock yarn. I don't have that, but I'm hoping that I will. So, as I also said in my previous video, I'm really poor at gauge swatching unless it's for a test knit. For a test knit, I am always going to gauge swatch because that's just part of the contract, I feel, when you sign up for that, but that's neither here nor there. Since this is for my husband and since it's basically an experiment anyways, and it doesn't really matter, I just went ahead and tried to cast it on. And the cast on method that this sock pattern calls for is a cast on that I've never done. And I'm trying to think of how I can say it without giving too much of the pattern away. So it is a cuff down sock pattern. And the cast on for the cuff is a provisional cast on of sorts. And I tried to do it maybe 5 or 6 times, and for whatever reason I could not. I thought I was doing it right, and every time I came up short stitches somehow, and I don't know how that happened, but I finally got so fed up that I said, screw it, I'm not doing this anymore. And then that's how I moved on to the Leolu shawl. I am so sorry if you ever watch these videos. I pronounce your patterns so wrong, and I know it, and I apologize. But I do love them. So yeah, so I pretty much gave up on this within a half an hour. I will revisit it, but I just did not have the patience, and I really wanted something like that was instantly gonna gratify me, and I had that leftover yarn from those other 2 projects, and I really wanted to use that yarn anyways, so that's why I moved on to that. So this will hopefully be an actual work in progress, or hopefully a finished object for my next video, because these were supposed to hopefully be a Christmas gift for my husband, so we'll see. And then another thing that I touched on in my last video was that I also, when I bought that green yarn for my husband, I bought this yarn for myself with the intentions of making a brioche hat. And after I got home, I realized I didn't really love this with the mohair that I had left over that I intended on pairing with it. And on top of that, they weren't gonna meet gauge for the pattern that I had in mind, which is the September hat by PetiteKnit. So I ended up going back to my local yarn shop, I don't know, a week later to look for another thing of this mohair, because I feel like it would work, but I just wasn't in love. And what I ended up buying was 1 ball of Ella Rae Silky Kid Super Kid mohair, because I had never tried it before, and it was like bang on with this yarn. And when I was there, I compared all of the yarns together, and I figured that these all held together was gonna work nicely. Like they would blend together, and I needed to meet gauge. Hypothetically, I haven't actually done a swatch, and I probably won't. It's supposed to be 2 strands of silk mohair held together with a fingering weight. I'm pretty sure. Let me double check on that. Yeah, so in her pattern, she holds 1 strand of Sunday and 2 strands of silk mohair. So the hope is that this will definitely meet gauge. It will definitely give that like Christmassy vibe. This I intend on casting on actually as soon as I either finish the George's sweater test knit or after I finish the shawl. So these, or this, and these are my next cast-ons, hopefully. But on top of those, we have found out that a cousin of my husband's is having her second baby. I decided to make the knot stitch baby blanket by Beth. Michon. Sorry, Beth. And we don't know if it's gonna be a boy or a girl yet. I actually don't even know when the baby is supposed to be born, but I decided to make it in Drops Paris in this neutral, like off-white color. I tend to make baby blankets for people, family, friends, whatever, who are having their first baby. And then when they have second, third, so on and so forth babies, I like to make them littler things like a pair of socks or a bonnet or whatever have you. Because I wasn't around when this particular cousin had her first baby, I wasn't able to make her a baby blanket for her first baby. So I decided I wanted to make one for her second baby since I'm around now. And like I said, we don't know if it's gonna be a boy or a girl. Not that I personally think you have to have certain color schemes for a boy or a girl. However, I do acknowledge that some people do prefer to have or veer away from certain color schemes for a boy or a girl. So I find it easiest to just play it safe, go with neutral colors. It's a very cute blanket. I have not used this pattern before. I have not casted it on yet. I actually intend on casting it on after Christmas because I have quite a few other things that I have on my plate right now, knitting and non-knitting. So this is gonna be like a New Year's cast on basically, and I think she's, if I had to assume based off of when we found out or heard through the grapevine that she's pregnant, she's probably gonna be due in like April-ish, something like that. I don't know, but that should be plenty of time to finish it. And I like to give myself plenty of time to do baby blankets because I find that I lose motivation like halfway through, and then I need like 2 or 3 months before I want to go back to knitting on it. So more on that to come. And then the last thing, these are also acquisitions. They are older acquisitions that I received both of these months and months ago, but I was going through my yarn today preparing for this video and I came across them and I was like, I'm gonna talk about it. So these are both acquisitions that I have acquired because of my problem with sale buying. So the first one is this Sari alpaca by Ruby and the Yarn Co. And I would never buy something in this color palette, color scheme, ever, purposely. Not to say I don't like it. I do like it. I think it's very nice and I'm excited to use it, or else I would have gotten rid of it. But I did come to acquire this because Ruby and the Yarn Co. had a, what are they called? Like a secret skein de-stash thing, where you basically paid a significant amount less per skein than what they were originally sold for, but you had no idea what colorways you were gonna get because she was basically de-stashing yarn from her, not collection because it's not her personal yarn, it's actually from her yarn that she dyes. And I did I bought one Sari and then one fingering weight, one like sock yarn. I'm not gonna show that one because it's irrelevant right now. But so this, when I received it, I was like, whoa, I don't know what I'm ever gonna use this for, but it's cool. I mean, it's cool colors. It's just, I typically don't, I just don't know. So got this, no idea what to do with it. I figured I'd just throw it in my stash, and then whenever a day came, I would use it. Super cool colors. It's just very like, you know, like these are the types of colors that I would have totally been into when I was like in my punk rock phase, when I was in like the 6th and 7th grade wearing my like Converse that were like this color. But yeah, so had that, and then I was at my yarn store one day, and actually it was the day that I was at my yarn store picking out yarn for my brother's Oslo hat. And I'll tell you, I can just convince myself to buy anything for any good reason whenever, if it's on sale. So I had already decided, or almost decided, to buy that heritage silk yarn in that blue color for the hat. But I had also came across their section of Noro yarns, and my mind was like, oh my gosh, I should totally make this hat out of Noro yarns, because Noro yarns is a Japanese yarn brand. He lives in Japan. He loves Japan. Like, I don't know. So, but then I was like, no, I don't like any of these colors, whatever, moved along. But then they had a sale section, and in that sale section, they had this Noro yarn. And again, this is a color palette I would never reach for. Not ever in a million years would I pick this color palette. But I bought it anyways because I thought, why not? I've never used Noro. It's on sale. Whatever. Why not? Maybe I can make something for him, and then the next time he comes to town, I can use this and have another gift for him. I don't know. So made the Oslo hat out of the blue yarn. He came, he went back to Japan, whatever. Still have this yarn. And the other day, I was like sorting through my stash, and these two yarns happened to come up next to each other. And I was like, oh my gosh, maybe, just maybe, I could use these together somehow. I don't know, maybe it's just me. I feel like I could maybe make it work somehow. I don't know if I'd hold them together or not. I'd have to do like a swatch. I'd actually have to swatch this to see if they marled well. I don't know. Because they might get kind of mucky, because there's definitely more pink and purple in here than there is in here. There's more green. But I could color manage it and it might work. I don't know. So if anybody has, and the other thing is, I don't know what I would really make out of this that I would wear. Maybe a hat. Don't you love how I model things? Maybe a hat, maybe like a cowl or some mittens. I don't know. If you have any suggestions, anything at all, comment them for me, please, because I don't know. I want to try this. I'm excited about trying this. I don't know. It could be a total disaster. Could work. So yeah. It would be an interesting combination too, because like I said, this is Sari alpaca, and then this is 60% cotton, 15% silk, 15% wool, and 10% polyamide. So very different contents. I don't know. If you have any suggestions for them as separate projects, I would take those suggestions as well, because I really like both of these yarns. The more that I stare at them, I just don't know what to use them for. And I only have one of each, and I'm not buying more of either. So let me know. And I think that is it for now. I do have some exciting acquisitions on the way in the form of Christmas gifts, which I'll probably touch on more in my next video, but that won't be until the end of December after Christmas. My plan is to try and upload a video once a month at the end of every month. We'll see how it goes. But with my husband's family, the way that they exchange Christmas gifts is a little different than what I was used to with my own family. In my family, you buy gifts for people or make gifts secretly, and then they open them up on Christmas or Christmas Eve or whenever, and they're surprised by their gift. With my husband's family, they don't do that. They give you money in advance, like at the beginning of the month. Like probably in the next week, his parents are gonna give us money to go and buy ourselves Christmas gifts that we will then wrap and then open on Christmas as if they were from his parents. So strange. It was very strange when I the first couple of Christmases that I spent with them. I was like, what? This is the strangest thing I've ever experienced, because what's the point? But the more that I've been around, the more I realize that I can work it in my favor because I get exactly what I want. So I've actually already ordered some of my Christmas gifts from his parents, and I already told his sister what I want from her and what I want from her husband. It's so strange because it sounds like I'm being selfish, but it's literally just the way that they do things. And then they do the same thing. Like they'll just send like a link like, hey, this is what I want. And then you buy it and you wrap it up and they act surprised. We also act surprised on Christmas. It's great. So yeah, so on Christmas, I will have had some acquisitions and I will share those in my next video. And yeah, so I hope everybody has a lovely December. I hope that everybody spends some time with their family, friends, loved ones, etc. I personally really love December. I love the cold. I love wintertime. My husband hates it. He tells me all the time that we need to move to a warmer state, but I actually want to move to a colder state, so yeah, that's our biggest conflict in our marriage. Again, I just want to say a huge thank you to anybody who watched my first video and to everybody who's watched this video. I appreciate it so much. This has been such a fun outlet to explore, and I really look forward to hopefully posting some more videos as the months go on. And feel free to leave me a comment with any kind of suggestions that you have for yarn or for ways that I can make these videos a little bit more enjoyable for you as the audience. And